Welcome to the Best of the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration attorney, and we're happy to welcome you. And we want to say thank you to everyone who supports us on all our platforms, especially those who write to us on social media, follow us, and share their immigration stories with us. We're grateful to the community that we have built together and it has inspired us to create this podcast. We hope you enjoy it. All right, let's go to TC. Hello, TC.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good, thank you.
What can I help you with?
Okay, so our situation is I have a stepson, so I'm calling on behalf of my husband because he's at work today.
Sure.
My stepson is 19. His father is my husband, American born, raised. My stepson's mother was born in Germany, born and raised. He is currently here in the U.S. on a German passport, so he's in America now. He does not have a B2 or tourist visa. He's here on an ESTA. And our question is we did fill out the I-130 as of yesterday. And we're trying to figure out, do we do the right thing? His ESTA says that it's up in 90 days. That's when it expires. So I guess we need to start maybe with that. I don't want to overload you with too many of my questions at once.
What is your stepson's first name?
Noah.
How old was Noah when you and your husband got married?
We got married in 2010, so he was 6.
Oh, wow. Okay. So when did he arrive in the United States?
He just arrived a couple weeks ago. He came here for a visit back in March. We spoke to you briefly then, and then he came back for another visit.
Okay. So since he's arrived, he's decided that he wants to stay and apply for adjustment of status.
Yes.
Okay. And he has a 90-day window to stay because he came on ESTA?
Yes.
So that means that if he applies if he applies in the first 60 days, they're going to say that he had immigrant intent, and that's a violation of ESTA, and they're going to hit him with a misrepresentation, and it's going to be a big old mess. So he has to wait 60 days to apply for an I-130 and a 40. He's planning on staying now and doing this all here, right?
He is. We already filed for the ESTA.
Oh, you filed for
the I-130.
That was a huge mistake.
Oh, great.
Huge mistake.
Great.
How long ago did he arrive?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's not good at all. Can you withdraw it? Is it on file? You filed it online or what?
We filed it online, and they took the money out.
It's really bad. So
my husband said that it shows pending.
Okay, so it seems to me that what has to happen now in order for him not to get hit with a misrepresentation and to need a waiver and all this other stuff is he's not going to be able to do this here in the United States because you filed too early.
Okay.
He's going to have to leave on time, and he's going to have to consular process. It's going to take about 2 years. It was a huge mistake.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Because he's rung the bell and said he wants to live in the United States. If you enter the United States and apply for adjustment or start the adjustment process, I mean, first of all, you shouldn't have filed the I-130 separately from the 45 anyway. So this is like all wrong. But at least you didn't pay the filing fees for the 45. So he's going to have to go through USCIS, which is going to take 14 months. Then he's going to have to go through the National Visa Center. Then he's going to have to wait for a visa interview in London. And he's probably not going to be able to come on ESTA anymore while this is all pending because he's demonstrated immigrant intent by having his stepmother file an I-130 petition for him.
Okay, I didn't file it. My husband did, but I'm just here to answer the question.
So is your husband a citizen or a green card holder?
He is a U.S. citizen.
Okay. Well, either way.
He's a U.S. citizen and he filed it.
Yeah, either way. The son has demonstrated immigrant intent, and if he tries to adjust, they're going to say he misrepresented himself when he came on ESTA when he really wanted to come and apply 2 weeks later for a green card.
Okay.
All right.
So you're saying he has to go back. And what do we do from here on out?
I'm not saying he has to do anything. I'm saying that if he stays here and tries to adjust based on the I-130, that he's going to have big problems, and they're going to say he misrepresented himself when he came to the United States. I'm saying that the safer thing to do would be to go back home and make this into a consular processing case.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, TC.
All right. Thank you.
Hey,
Bye.
Jim, how are you?
Great. It's Friday. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. So, Jim, I have a question, and this is in relation to my sibling. So, my sibling, way back then, I can't remember exactly which year, was admitted to the U.S. on a student visa, and she was going to school, but unfortunately, she didn't know, so she overstayed her visa and was of the idea that she would come home, renew her visa, and come back to the U.S. So she gets home, goes to the U.S. embassy, and they can't renew her visa because now she has an overstay. So,
3-year or 10-year? Did she have a 3-year bar or a 10-year bar? How long was her overstay?
How long had you overstayed when you left?
More than a year or less than a year?
Less than a year or more than a year? She says, okay, but how long had you overstayed?
Been out of status, yeah.
Well, the thing is, I transferred into a university.
Okay,
But
so
on the
she's
same
saying
paper.
that she transferred to a different university, but I'm not sure, but it should have still put you out of
Okay,
status.
it's okay.
Why
It's
you
okay. It's okay. So the embassy said no visa for you. You can't go
Yes.
back because you overstayed.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then unfortunately, I mean, she was young, and a friend of hers was like, maybe what you could do is you could possibly just go like to Mexico and go back. So which she did, but when she got to the border there, she was stopped and she was given a removal. And on the removal, just quickly, I think
Sure.
based on 212A 7A, she was inadmissible for not being in possession of a valid unexpired immigrant visa.
Sure.
Also, she was issued another. Yeah, she was on the other document that I have here in front of me. They crossed that she was barred for a period of 5 years. So this bar happened in 2009.
Okay.
So from 2009, at that point, she flew back home and she stayed here, and the rest of us have been in the US. So every time, like even after the bar, like 10 years after the bar, she's tried to get a visitor's visa to genuinely just visit. But
They're never going to give
she's
her.
been.
They're never going to give her a visit visa.
Okay, yeah. So, and the one lady at the consulate explained to her that, look, I've understood what you said, but it's hard for me and I cannot make this decision. So she didn't get that visa. So fast forward to today, my brother, who is a U.S. citizen, had filed a I-130 for her. So my question is, what are the chances of the I-130? And with that I-130, was she supposed to file a 212 or a waiver of some sort?
When did the brother file the I-130?
August of this year.
Do you know how long those cases take?
I know, yeah. I've heard you say it for a long, that they take 10, 15, 25.
17, 18, 20. Yeah. So why are we worrying about this? She's not coming anytime soon. In answer to your question, no, you don't file the waiver now. The waiver is later. But
okay,
that's going to be 20 years from now.
Okay. So pretty much right now, you told us off the bat that they will not give her a visitor's visa. So
She
pretty
didn't
much
file-
right now,
she didn't follow the rules.
yeah. So pretty much right now, her only option would be either waiting out that 20 years or miraculously she say marries a US citizen, right?
She's got problems. Even if she were married to a U.S. citizen and they filed for her now, she's had big problems. I mean, she tried to enter without inspection. I don't know. She might not have been truthful at various times. I think there's a lot of problems.
Okay. Would you advise that maybe she then seeks like an immigration lawyer, maybe does a FOIA and see?
There's nothing to do. What are we going to do? FOIA doesn't do you any good. Might do a FOIA for later, but I mean, 20 years from now, I don't know. Any of us are going to be here in 20. I don't know what the immigration policy is going to be in 20 years.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rolene. Maddie's here. Hi, Maddie.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you for the show. Really appreciate it. I came to the U.S. on a J1 visa, and I've applied for asylum. It's a religious-based asylum. I have an EAD card until 2029. So I just wanted to prepare myself for the worst case scenario. Is it possible that they're gonna revoke my EAD card?
When did you come to the United States?
September 2022.
And then when did you apply for asylum?
Just before September 2023, so August 2023. So it was before the 1 year.
When you entered, what was your visa type?
J1.
And when did it expire?
It will expire in June of 2025, I believe.
So you were in status at the time you filed for asylum?
I was, yeah.
And you filed before the 1 year?
I did.
And now that Trump's been elected and you have your ED, you're worried about what's going to happen?
Yeah.
I think I'd be more worried about what's going to happen to my asylum case than I would be about the EAD. So I would focus on trying to make my asylum case stronger. Eventually, you're going to get an interview. I don't know when that's going to be. If you're still in valid immigration status, you're probably going to be low on the list of people that they want to interview. Do you know which asylum office has your case?
Oh, it's in Illinois. I'm at the University of Chicago.
Yeah, so Chicago. That's a good asylum office. I mean, that case could be pending another 2 years. How long of an EAD did they give you?
Until 2029.
So I don't think they're going to go back and revoke people who already have EADs. I don't think they are. I think they have. I think what they're going to do is focus on not letting anyone else in, not giving anyone any other immigration benefits. I think it's a lot harder for them to try to take away things. So people who already have things, I think it's going to be harder to take them away. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that they're more likely to just say, okay, you guys can have that, but we're not giving that to anybody else, I think.
Okay, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you.
I wouldn't worry about the EAD too much. I'd be worried about making my asylum case stronger.
Got it.
See you, Maddie. Bye, buddy. S. Normandy liked my shirt beard. That's what I do when I'm nervous. That's from when I was a little kid. I used to do that when I'm nervous or worried about stuff or anxious. Anxiety is a bitch, isn't it? Isn't anxiety a bitch? And of course, I'm a natural born U.S. citizen. I'm a kid born here in America, born in St. Louis. I'm a lucky, lucky dude. And I have not had to experience any of the discrimination or hardship that all of you have had to deal with. But I do deal with anxiety, different kinds of anxiety. For me, I was abused as a kid by the local priest. He messed me up big time. And that's what makes me sympathetic to people that are going through painful things. There's a lot of sad people. Lynn says, hello, family, such a heavy day today is. John C. Pratt says, I'm so broken. Earth Geomancer asks a really good question. Jim, should we expect USCIS officers to be more strict now that Trump has been elected? Yes, if we're lucky enough to see immigration officers. They're going to require an interview on every case. And they're going to slow things down by clogging up the system. As Andrew said today, trying to throw a monkey wrench into each gear of the system. And we had an officer in St. Louis who had been in the Army. And when President Obama was president, he was the nicest guy, would tell jokes, was easygoing. I swear to God, the day Trump got sworn in, he turned into a total asshole. He became very strict and stern and mean and unkind, almost like a light switch. Now, that's unusual. I think most officers are going to do what they do. And I think there's probably a lot of officers. I know there's officers who, during Trump, hated Trump, right? And thought that he was really unfair and didn't, thought that they were sort of fighting it from within. But that's pretty rare. I think that they're just going to drill fraud into everything. They're just really going to try to slow things down. Glenn says, this country survived 4 years of Jimmy Carter. Back when I was a kid, we will survive 4 more years of Trump. Yeah, I hope so, Glenn. Jimmy Carter didn't want to destroy the country. Jimmy Carter didn't hate immigrants. Jimmy Carter didn't try to sabotage, wasn't going to put some fool like Robert Kennedy Jr. into the Department of Health, right? Yeah, Jay's got it here. More interviews, more backlogs, and stopping some cases in entirety. That's about it. I think that's exactly right. All right, let's go over to TikTok. Will Trump being in power affect pending I-130 cases? Well, just that it's going to slow everything down. And they'll probably hold cases to higher scrutiny, and they think everybody's committing fraud, which is what they say. Can I file the N-400 with a pending 751? Yes, you can and you should if you're eligible. Will this affect 751 waivers and mandatory second interview? Maybe. David, I'll put the link. Here's the link. Well, there you have it. Another edition of the Best of the Immigration Answers Show. Again, my name is Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration attorney practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. If you want to get a hold of us at the firm, you can email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com, or you can call us at 314-961-8200. You also can join our free Facebook group. It's called Immigrant Home. We'd love to have you join us there. There's thousands of immigrants talking about the immigration process in there every single day. We also have our YouTube channel where you can subscribe to see all of our videos and to get alerted whenever we go live, whenever we're going to record another episode of the Immigration Answer Show. Maybe you could be a guest and ask us a question. Finally, if you're not following us on TikTok, we suggest you do at Immigration Hacking. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.